As you know, Kaplan Business School is part of Kaplan Inc., one of the biggest education group in Australia and also in the world as well. As a group, we established many years ago in 1938. So we have more than 85 years of operations in education industry. Every year we welcome many students studying in our 400 locations across 26 countries.
សូមជម្រាបសួរសួស្តីទាំងអស់គ្នាស្វាគមន៍មកកាន់ new episode នៃ Study Abroad podcast ដែលរៀបចំឡើងដោយ WEduAbroad Study Abroad Consultancy ចឹងថ្ងៃនេះផងដែរគឺយើងមាននៅប្រធានបទថ្មីមួយទៀតតាក់ទងទៅនឹងការសិក្សានៅ Kaplan Business School នៅក្នុងប្រទេសអូស្ត្រាលីដែលប្រធានបទយើងថ្ងៃនេះគឺតាក់ទងទៅនឹង Pursue Your Higher Education at Kaplan Business School Australia ដែលថ្ងៃនេះផងដែរគឺយើងមានការចូលរួមពីវិក្កាមកិត្តិយសយើងមួយរូបគឺ Miss Vanessa ដែលគាត់ជា School Representative ឬជាអ្នកតំណាងសាលាផ្ទាល់របស់ Kaplan Business School ចឹងចង់ដឹងថាកិច្ចសម្ភាសន៍របស់យើងថ្ងៃនេះមានអីគេខ្លះយើងទៅជួបគាត់ទាំងអស់គ្នា Hello Vanessa.
Hello.
Firstly, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to join the podcast today. It's very nice to be able to share some information about Kaplan Business School to the students. About myself, my name is Vanessa Grisostomu. I am the Regional Manager for Southeast Asia region, Japan and Korea of Kaplan Business School. I have been working for Kaplan Business School for more than 7 years. Before that, I have worked for another 2 providers in Australia and with a total 17 years of experience in education industry. I have welcomed and met with many students from Southeast Asia regions and were able to assist them with their inquiries about study in Australia and have seen many of them had successfully completed their course and progressed further in their career pathway. And yes, thank you for inviting me today to meet with your potential students and also to share some information about Australia and Kaplan Business School.
Okay, thank you for your introduction. So as we know that today's topic, we are talking about Kaplan Business School. Can you briefly tell us the unique feature of Kaplan Business School?
As you know, Kaplan Business School is part of Kaplan Inc., one of the biggest education group in Australia and also in the world as well. As a group, we established many years ago in 1938. So we have more than 85 years of operations in education industry. Every year we welcome many students studying in our 400 locations across 26 countries. So Kaplan Business School is part of Kaplan Inc. We established in 2008 and now with more than 15 years operation, we have more than 5 campuses. Actually, we just welcomed the 6th campus has been opened in Gold Coast. For now, we have total 6 campuses in Australia, from Adelaide, Brisbane, Perth, Melbourne, Sydney, and the last campus is Gold Coast. So we offer range of courses from diploma to bachelor to master courses. What unique about us is we only focus on business courses and IT courses. We don't focus in many fields. That's why we are able to do well in what we're doing. We focus in business analytics, business, accounting, and ITs. For what we're doing is, with the multi-locations, what is the very good choices for our students. They can prefer to study in any location that they like. And secondly, because we only focus in a niche area, which is business and IT, we're able to do it very well. The way we teach our students is also very different. We focus on small class size, even though we have many thousand students have been doing the course with us. At the moment, we have more than 7,000 students study with Kaplan Business School, but doesn't mean we have to cut the course and put 100 students in one classroom with only one lecture. We maintain a small class size, business teaching model, so the student can have more time with the lecture and more interaction with the lecture as well. And the way we teach is very practical. Most of the subjects will have assessment that based on the real work in the future. When the student actually do work in their role, they will be able to relate to what they study in Kaplan Business School. And we move away from all the exams practice. So that means the students study with Kaplan Business School, they don't have to sit in the exam environment where we don't believe that it could measure their like knowledge after they study with us, and the assessment is the better way to measure their understanding and their progressions in the study. Thirdly, we not only provide a very practical knowledge when they study with us, we have extra services that can assist the student as well, not only in academic field in student services, but we're also doing very well in career services, where we're gonna provide the internship to our students when they finish their course in their second year or on the third year of their study. And students gonna have opportunity to do internship with a Australian company in their location of their study, and we are the one that introduce these internships opportunity to our students, and 100% of our students who finish the internship program would recommend it to their students, to our current student later. And 40% of them get a job offer after they finish the internship as well, so which is very high percentage because of the way we teach and the way we help our students to get the internship to progress in their career right away after they finish the course. And fourth point is our fee is really reasonable, and we have a big ranges of scholarship that we can offer to the student as well. Yeah, and the environment that we teach our students is very nurturing and very supportive. We've seen many students that have struggled in other university when they study in Australia, and when they transfer to us, they were able to do well and progress and complete the course in time. So those are the unique points of Kaplan Business School that I find is different from different providers.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the next question, since you have already mentioned about like the area of study that Kaplan Business School is teaching the student, so can you detail more about the majors that you have, like the Kaplan Business School have provide for students, and how do they differ from the other school in Australia?
Thank you for your question. So as I mentioned, Kaplan Business School are focusing on like business courses. So we teach from diploma to bachelor and master level. For diploma, we have like diploma of business, diploma of IT. For bachelor level, we have bachelor of business in general, and we also have bachelor of business in accounting, in marketing, in hospitality, in tourism management, and in management. And of course, we also have bachelor of IT as well. For students have just finished high school in Cambodia, they can aim to enter to our diploma and our bachelor programs. For any student that have graduated from bachelor in Cambodia, or the one that have graduated from the bachelor and have worked for a few years, they can aim to enter into our master courses. For our master courses, we have Master of Accounting, Master of Professional Accounting, Master of Business Analytics, Master of Business Administration, and Master of IT. In our Master of Business Analytics, we have two versions, 1 year, 8 months, and we also have 2 years. Depends on what the student wants to study. And in our MBA program, which is the top 2 MBA in Australia, we have 8 specializations offered to students come from different backgrounds. For example, we have entrepreneurship, digital management, and we have international leadership, health services leadership, and we also have like project management and data analytics and so on. So students come from different backgrounds. They can always find something that suits with them. And in our Master of IT, we have 4 specializations. We have data analytics, we have cybersecurity, programming, and web and mobile developments. And we offer internship in all our main programs with Kaplan Business School.
Okay, so like among the majors and the course that you mentioned at the moment, may I also know like what are the top majors to study in Australia, and what make Australia an ideal destination to study those majors?
Right. I have to say business courses are always popular in not only in Australia but also in many countries, because when you learn to do business, you can work in any field, because as you see, any industry would need someone that can understand about business to run the business for that company. Every company would need an accountant. Every company or industry would need someone who know about marketing or doing sales or management. What different in Australia is, I have to say, they have advantages compared to study in Southeast Asian countries. Firstly, I have to say the duration of the bachelor course is only like 3 years instead of 4 years. So first of all, you can see that you can save 1 year of study and you can start working earlier after you finish the bachelor. And what different from Kaplan Business School with other programs is we do offer internship in all our programs. So if a student that want to work right after they finish the bachelor or even master, with our internship program, we can help them to get into a post-study work right away. Like I mentioned, 40% of them get a job offer after they finish the program. Even the one that they don't get the job offer with that internship company, with the references that they get from that letter, it's very easy for them to find job after. And the other point of advantages of studying in Australia is when you finish a degree in Australia with at least 2 years duration, a student has the opportunity to apply for a post-study work visa, which is 2 years, allow them to stay back in Australia to work and full-time and to earn experience and also to perhaps earn back some money that they have spent in their study as well. That is post-study opportunity work, but during your study, the way we design our courses, not only in Kaplan Business School, but also in most of business course in Australia, students only have to study about 20 hours a week, which allow them another 20 to 24 hours free, where they can relax or they can find part-time job that can help them to gain experience during their study, or they can use that time to improve the English from their work and also to earn some finance to support themselves, to help with their parents back home with the burden of the finance spending on their living costs and study in Australia. And the last point I want to mention is the Australian currency is actually quite low compared to pound in the UK or like the USD dollars. So it's very affordable for the student who want to study in Australia. Yeah, those are the main advantages point. I'm not mentioning about like the weather is very pleasant. I'm living in Melbourne. And as you know, you don't see snow in the main city. Of course, you can see snow on the top of the mountains. The weather is very pleasant, very easy for the student, especially Southeast Asian student, to adapt with the environment there. The flight is only about 8 to 9 hours, very close to Cambodia. So students can travel back and forth quite easily. They don't have to spend one whole day just to travel. And in the future, if they have opportunity to migrate to Australia, their family or their loved one can come and visit them very easily as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the good points that I could remember on top of my head.
Yes.
Hopefully it convinced students enough that this is the good destination for them to go and study in Australia.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to recap, business is one of the major that the student can consider studying in Australia.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of opportunity, the condition of the Australia, the weather, I think it's attract more Cambodian students to study as well.
It's a very safe country as well, and I live in Australia and I see very low crime. So students voted for at least like 4 or 6 cities in Australia are the best international study destination in the world. Yeah.
Yes. So for this class, I think that a lot of students might want to know as well, like, is there any scholarship offer for international students to study at Kaplan Business School?
Oh, definitely. We always have scholarship to welcome students with fair to excellent study result to study in Kaplan Business School. At the moment, we have 10%, 20%, and 30% scholarship. For example, if a student that graduated from high school in Cambodia and they got C average, in their graduation score. They will get like 10% straight away for their bachelor study. So this 10% will apply for their whole duration of 3 years, not only like the first year. And if they achieve like 90% in their previous study, in their high school score, like A average, they can aim to 20% scholarship. But any student that are Cambodian, but they didn't study in Cambodia. Let's say they study high school in Australia, for example, and they get an ATAR of 80. We could give them higher scholarship, which is 30% scholarship as well. And you might have some student that already done some study in Australia, let's say a bachelor in Australia, and they want to progress to the master course. We don't require very high GPA. They only need to achieve 65 to 75% to earn 30% scholarship. And if you have students like graduated from other university other than Cambodian university or Australian university, let's say that university in the top 800 QS ranking, if they achieve 75% in their previous study, they also can aim for 30% as well. Because I understand that many Cambodian students might have studied in Korea or Japan or even in China or in Singapore. And there's so many schools in these countries are in the top list of university in the world and very high rank. So if they are, then they can aim to get the highest scholarship that we're offering, 30%. And of course, we do have like 100% scholarship for any students that need to study English before the main course, because as of now, we are asking students to only study about 10 weeks of English before the main course. If they only have to study 10 weeks, they get 100% scholarship of the English tuition fee, which is very attractive. Yeah, and let's say you have a student that have studied in any Kaplan school in the world, because as I mentioned before, we do have like 400 locations, schools in 26 countries. Let's say you have a student that graduated from diploma in Kaplan Singapore and they want to transfer to Kaplan Business School to study, we give them 30% scholarship as well.
Yeah.
Those are very attractive one. The last one I'd like to mention is if a student want to do MBA with us and they do have the experience in health services, like health industry for at least 1 year, we give them 20% scholarship.
So in order to receive those scholarship, like what are the admission requirements?
So the admission requirement, like I mentioned, is the GPA score. Mainly we look at that. Except for the MBA scholarship with 20%, we require to look at the working experience. So the GPA is ranked from 65% to 80 or 90. So depends on the score. They're going to get 10% or 20% or 30% scholarship. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So for the next question, I would like to ask about the living condition. Like, how is the living arrangement for international students at Kaplan Business School?
Right. I can't say just only for Kaplan Business School students, but I can say in general for students from overseas come to Australia to study. They do have a very safe environment to study in Australia, and they have many options when they select a accommodation when they come to Australia to study. So the option can be like student accommodations in a private student accommodation company, or they can be like renting a household and share the house with 2 or 3 more students, or they can do like apartment renting as well, or they can do like homestay. Depends on what student prefer, what is their budget. They can select the suitable accommodation option for them. And Australia is a very safe country. At night time in the city, it's very livable environment. If students live in the city, they always can go out, enjoy a dinner with their friends. But if they live in suburbs, it will be more quiet for them. Most of Australian family, after work or school, they just spend time at home with their family. They might do some family activity, watching TV. So it will be more quiet for them. It depends on the student personality. Some of them like to have a very lively lifestyle. They can live in the city, but if anyone like to be more laid back, more quiet environments, then the suburb is more suitable for them. I like to mention that Kaplan Business School, all our 6 campuses services are in the center of the city. So if a student select to live in the city, it's very easy for them to travel from their home to the school. And in some city, the public transportation within the city is free as well. For example, where I'm living, we do have a free tram zone where students travel without paying any fee if they live in that free zone. Yeah.
So how about the support service that the Kaplan Business School offer to students? Can you briefly tell us how do the schools support for the student who study there?
Yes, I understand that international students, when they come to Australia to study, they might have a lot of adjustment they need to do, especially the first year students. I understand that the way we teach in Southeast Asian countries are quite different. There's a lot of learn by heart knowledge, not very practical, not very research skill. A lot of students lack of research skill. So Kaplan Business School understand that very well. We do have three main services that can support students to adapt with the Australian way of study. First is our academic support. Secondly is the English support, and also the third one is career services support as well. Talking about academic support, we do have services that can help students to improve their research skill, their time management, and also learn how to do referencing, how to do essays, and also how to do presentation as well. Many of the assessment require students to know how to write essays with at least 1.5 to 2,000 words, and some subjects require students need to learn how to do presentation, maybe with a group or maybe with by themselves as well. And many students from Southeast Asia, they don't have the skill, very good skill to use PowerPoint or use Excel or use Word to prepare an essay or the presentations. Myself, actually, when I studied overseas, when I did my MBA, I didn't have those skills many years ago. And when I started doing my first assessment, I struggled so much because the school that I went to, they didn't have that support service. But in Kaplan Business School, we have academic team that always there for students to reach out to ask for help. Let's say they write an essay and they don't know if the way they write is good, whether they have copied the source in the internet or do they need how to rephrase it to make the essays in their own, and how to quote the source as a reference in their essay as well. Those are very important skills, and need to know that you cannot copy whatever you find on the internet to your essay. You need to know how to rephrase it in your own word, which is one of the mistakes I did in my MBA many years ago. I didn't know how to rephrase it. In one of my subjects, my teacher told me that you have paralyzed your source in your essays, and I had to repeat that subject, which is not ideal, but I learned from it. But very lucky for Kaplan Business School students, they get the support. And secondly is the English support. Many students come from Asian country. They have a bit of not very confidence in their English knowledge, can be in writing, can be in speaking, and they need support from that. They can make a one-on-one appointment to ask for help, to review their assignment, to see whether they have write well, do they need any adjustment, and how to prepare for the presentation as well. So those skills doesn't come in one day. It comes after a few subjects, but students can always make appointment one-on-one to get that support from us. And the last one I actually mentioned before is our career services department. They're very active in helping students not only with the internship opportunity, but during the student study. We run many workshops that can assist students finding job, because not many students would like to go through internship. Some of them would want to find job straight away after they come to Australia. So they don't know how to prepare a resume that fit with Australian standard. They don't know how to answer all the interview questions, and they also don't know how to make connection or search for jobs. So those are the workshops that we're gonna run, not only from the last year of their study, but from the first term of their study. And students are welcome to join anytime, we run the workshop, so they can know how to build their resume, their profile, and look for jobs straight away. Yeah, and of course, they also can make appointment one-on-one as well. Bring their resume to the career support officer, ask them for their idea, ask them for help. And let's say they have found interview, but they worry about, they don't know how to answer it well, make appointment with them. And they're going to sit down with you and coach them how to answer the question as well. So yeah, those are the services that we offer to our international students.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned that the Kaplan Business School also offer the career support to students. So can you tell us like how is the job opportunity for students after graduate from Kaplan Business School?
Right, opportunity for a student who graduated from our courses, because like I mentioned, all the courses that we are offering is very popular, not only in the world but also in Australia. Many people that look for people who have business knowledge. Most of the company, they will look for someone that have accounting knowledge, marketing knowledge, hospitality as well, and also IT. I like to mention about IT first because these are the courses that we recently introduced in 2023. At the moment in Australia, every year we need more than 60,000 people who work in the IT field. But Australian education providers only produce 7,000 students who graduate from IT courses. So you can see that the demand is much higher than the supplies. So if a student that want to do IT courses, the opportunity is out there. Basically, one student graduate from a master course, there's about 6-7 jobs waiting for them already. Whether or not they want to apply for it, they are good enough to go through an interview and know how to express themselves. As long as they have the qualifications, they go out there to look for a job. I can guarantee they can find a job within like 2-3 months. Yeah, but also like travel and hospitality industry in Australia is growing. Many Asian people and also from Europe, America as well, they love to travel to Australia, and there's many more hotels being built and more resources being built, and they do need people that have the hospitality knowledge or like marketing knowledge working in the field. And knowing a second language is also a very important skill. For example, for my job, I speak English, but because my background is Vietnamese, I can speak Vietnamese. So I help to engage a lot of Vietnamese clients and help many Vietnamese students select my school. So let's say a Cambodian student know how to do Khmer, they can help to promote the service from Australian company to Khmer and Cambodian people. Yes, not only IT, but also marketing and accounting and also business analytics are the jobs that in the occupation list that students can also aim for migrations because they lack of people who work in this field. So yes, the opportunity for job is out there, and also the opportunity to migrate to Australia under these fields as well. Yeah. And I just want to share a bit more about the salary starting point for the student who finished a degree in Australia. It can start with about $60,000 Australian dollars per year. Australia, we pay, talk about salary, we talk about the annual package. For students who graduated from Kaplan Business School, I have to mention that most of them get higher than the average salary level in the industry, more than 20%. Let's say that job is about like $60,000 a year. Students who graduate from us, they could get like to $70,000 per year, which is very good sign. Not because that they have any extra help from us, but because the way we prepare for our students and the way we teach, help them, and also the internship program that can assist them to start finding jobs straight away after they finish the course. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for your insightful explanation. Next, I think the last question. So last but not least, like what advice do you have for students who wish to study abroad, especially to study in Australia?
Right. There's many things that you need to prepare. Not only you finish from their study in Cambodia, then they can apply straight away. It's a process actually. When you want to study not only in Australia but in other countries, I believe that there are some things that you need to prepare during your final year of your study. Firstly is English. It's very important because if you study in Australia, you have to study in English. I know that many of the students might not be able to meet direct entry requirement for English. That's why Kaplan Business School, we do have the English programs that can offer 10 weeks to 20 weeks for students who haven't met direct entry requirement for English. But we set our entry requirement is quite reasonable. For example, for diploma level, it's only 5.5 in IELTS with no band lower than 5. And for bachelor and master, we have the same entry requirements, which is 6.0 in IELTS with no band lower than 5.5. Speaking and writing is 6. We also accept students who have PTE or Duolingo score as well with 50 for PTE to enter direct to bachelor and master, or 42 to enter to our diploma level. Yeah, and Duolingo is 90 to diploma level and 100 to bachelor or master level. So that's the first one they have to prepare. Second one is finance. You study overseas, you need to have money to pay for your tuition fee, and you need to have money to pay for your living costs. Yes, scholarship is often offered by Australian school like Kaplan Business School or university, but the 100% scholarship is extremely rare from Australian school. So somehow you still have to have a good finance capacity when you decide to study overseas. You might be able to work for 24 hours a week to support for your living costs, but that only support for your living costs. Tuition fee still should be covered by your family. And with the new regulations now, with the GST students genuine test that the government that is applying, some cases have to submit the financial documents to prove that you have enough finance to study in Australia. So that's the second point. And third one is look into the course that you want to study to understand about it. Look at the school that you want to study to understand about that school profile, because some of the students might get interviewed by Department of Home Affairs of Australia. They might give you a quick call and ask why you want to choose, let's say, Kaplan Business Schools to study, why you want to choose MBA to study with them. And without the course knowledge and about the provider knowledge or about Australian knowledge, and you fail to answer those questions, they believe that you have not prepared to study overseas, and they might fail your visa. Ensure that you have a very good visa grant chance, finance, English, and also the knowledge of the course, the country, and the school that you want to study need to be well prepared. Of course, the last point I want to mention is to select a very good education agency to submit your application. For example, like WEduAbroad is very good company and have very good service, and have many students got visa granted from your company as well. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you, Vanessa, for joining our podcast today. So I hope that after this podcast, the student might get more detailed information about Kaplan Business School and have a good decision about their higher education to study abroad.
Thank you for inviting me here today, and very lovely to share my knowledge with the students.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. ចឹង podcast របស់ពួកយើងថ្ងៃនេះមានត្រឹមប៉ុណ្ណឹងអាចថាក្នុងករណីដែលអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាឬអ្នកជាបាលសិស្សានុសិស្សដែលមានសំណួរផ្សេងៗតាក់ទងទៅនឹងការសិក្សានៅ Kaplan Business School ឬការសិក្សានៅក្រៅប្រទេសផ្សេងៗគឺអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាអាចតាក់ទងមកកាន់ក្រុមការងារ WEduAbroad យើងបានដើម្បីឲ្យពួកយើងផ្ដល់ជាការប្រឹក្សាយោបល់ដែលឥតគិតថ្លៃដល់អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាអញ្ចឹងវីដេអូ podcast របស់ពួកយើងមានត្រឹមប៉ុណ្ណឹងជួបអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នានៅវីដេអូក្រោយៗទៀតសូមអរគុណសូមជម្រាបលា